Yeah, I guess you're watching AntiSlave Hate Bug Question Everything. Or whatever. Wibble dub dub shit stains.
Welcome to AntiSlave Question Everything.
Anti-slave question everything. Anti-slave question everything.
Welcome to AntiSlave Question Everything.
Question everything. Question everything. Anti-slave question everything. Anti-slave question everything.
AntiSlave Question Everything.
Anti-slave question everything. Anti-slave question everything. Anti-slave question everything. Welcome to Anti-slave question everything.
Hello and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Anti-Slave Question Everything with your host here, Bo Diggles. This is just a little pre-introduction to what is going on today with this video that I have. So, sorry with my head, because these fucking glasses, I just came out of the fucking sun. I'll take them off, but whoa, dude, it was like the screen was changing. Anyways, so I have a badass episode for you guys. I had a really awesome conversation with my Canadian friend Mathew, and he dropped some fucking truth bombs for us in regards to secret societies and Satanism and cults and fucking and shit that's going on in Canada. Not only just stuff about secret societies and Satanism, but also stuff about the tyranny of Justin Trudeau. Some shit going on with their gun laws. It was an important conversation, and it was a good conversation, and I'm really looking forward to talking to him again here sometime soon, so we can get a little bit deeper on some things, because we had some good talking points. I was having issues with my audio. Like, we did it 3 times almost. I felt so bad for the guy, because I was like, oh man, I know you just said everything, but I don't think I recorded any of it. So by the 3rd time with that hour-long conversation we had, there was already 2 times before that I had totally fucked up and he had to start over. So thanks, Mathew, for fucking bearing with me. Yeah, man. So I got that episode coming in here. For anybody that cares, this is not alcohol. This is liquid death. I'm not drinking anymore. Like I said, I'm not drinking anymore. This is water. This is a can of water. Okay? So, anywho, yeah, but Liquid Death, it's a cool brand. I like it. This isn't a paid plug, obviously, because I'm a nobody. But anywho, God bless you, Mathew. Everybody that's listening, like I said, just tune in. It's a dope conversation. You want to hear what he's got to say, because it's pretty fucking interesting. All right, God bless y'all, and here we go. All right, so this is Bo again with Anti-Slave QE, and this is the 3rd time that I have tried doing this, and I cannot seem to figure out these audio issues. But I have Mathew here, or Matt.
Yep.
And we are talking about some of the situations that are going on in Canada right now, because as a lot of us here in America don't know, there's some crazy shit that is going on in Canada right now.
For sure.
So, all right, sorry about all those issues, Mathew. I think this should be working better now.
It's you know what, it's fine. Your audience probably doesn't even want to hear about SNC Lavalin. If anybody, I'm probably better off just telling people to Google it if they want to be interested. So,
right, yeah.
Or find out about it.
Man, I think
because it's not really
it's important
on topic
for people to know everything that's going on, though. You know, it's like, because there's certain shit that's important in the world, and if the shit's going on, popping off in Canada. You know, some people say that the UK, they say that the UK and Canada is testing grounds for what they're going to try in America next. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I would say Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and then the UK and Europe. Those 2 places as well are kind of like what countries kind of operate like if they were run solely by the Democratic Party,
Correct.
With, no guns in Australia. In Canada, much stricter gun laws.
Oh, man. Yeah, how is that
now no handguns?
No shit?
As of Uvalde, after Uvalde.
No way.
Justin Trudeau decided that he's going to freeze all handgun sales and transfers. And so if you're like me, believe that guns are the only true guarantee against tyranny. It's the only real check that people have against government. It seems like slowly our gun rights are being taken away to the point where, they want to turn us into Australia.
Entirely diminished. in like China, the state in China is fucking crazy too, and that's why I was thinking very much so. As soon as Uvalde happened, like the day that Uvalde happened, my girlfriend, she came home and she was like, "Did you hear what happened in Texas?" And I was like, "Was it a shooting?" And she's like, "No," and I was like, "No, but I can tell you what he used." You know, I had no idea. You know, and I said AR-15. Couple of pistols, and sure as shit, you know, just right there, it fits the narrative. It fits their perfect little narrative that they have to try to. I mean, and I'm not even saying that Uvalde was like a planned thing.
Psyop.
Or I mean, I think that it could. I think it very well could be a psyop. You know, but in the same breath, I mean, actually, I think it is a psyop because even if it wasn't a planned event, that they actually had,
they're still using
exactly. So it's
no matter what.
Yep. Yeah. That's right. So, and I mean, honestly, I do, in my opinion, I believe that fucking Salvador Ramos was kind of probably an MK Ultra agent that they just let loose inside of that school and then used said violence to support whatever narrative and whatever agenda they want to push.
Yeah. And MK Ultra victim, you mean, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. An MK Ultra victim. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you know, fuck, man. Yeah, that's right, man.
No, potentially. I haven't looked into it in depth, but I heard that there was someone in internet chat room with him that was a ex-FBI agent. You know, well, they all claim to be ex-FBI while they're still working for the FBI or CIA, right?
Yeah, man.
And I think even the same agent was, I shouldn't talk too much about things I haven't researched heavily, but I heard it might have been in the same group chat as the guy in Buffalo. But I don't want to get too in-depth into things.
Right.
Too much.
Understandable.
But, yeah.
Shit, man. Okay, so again, just because everything got all cut off and I'm like ridiculously terrible with learning how to do audio, I want to hear again about that company. About
SNC Lavalin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. You know, some of your, I think, truthfully, it actually is important to understand because there's some things that have a certain aspect of uncertainty when you talk about conspiracies where they haven't been proven. But SNC Lavalin is something that woke up a lot of Canadians, including myself, to the proven corruption within our country. And so what SNC Lavalin was, it was an event a few years ago where a Quebec engineering firm had bribed the Libyan government in order to secure Libyan government infrastructure projects. And this was found out about, and the company was being taken to court in Canada on charges of bribery and corruption, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the Prime Minister created a new law to protect this company called deferred prosecution.
Okay.
With a stated intention of deferring the case to a future date, with the truthful intention of never prosecuting the company and just waiting until the general public had forgotten about it or lost interest.
Right. Okay.
And so not only did they create this new law to protect this company, the Prime Minister then went to the Attorney General, the minister in charge of our justice system, and essentially pressured her into using this new law. She blew the whistle. She brought it to the attention of the Canadian public to the best of her ability. There are certain stupid laws we have in Canada with regards to confidentiality where ministers of our government are not allowed to disclose certain things. So there were a whole lot of things she wasn't able to talk about that she said that she wanted to talk about, but still hasn't.
Right.
But she was able to point out the bird's eye view of what was going on, and point out that the Prime Minister's office was attempting to interfere in the judicial system in order to protect a Canadian company from corruption charges.
Wow.
And I also wanted to mention her, memorable quote where she said something along the lines of, I come from a long line of matriarchs, and I'm proud of where I come from. And that's because she's a Native American from British Columbia, who I suppose her society was structured around some form of matriarchal family organization.
Versus
So
patriarchal, like the one
versus patriarchal, yeah. I mean, even I don't know. The patriarchy is another thing to debate. It definitely exists to some degree, but
Oh yeah, it
to,
definitely exists to some degree. I think it's
mhm.
diminishing a little bit. I mean, in the sense that like the nuclear family is diminishing, not in the sense that old white men don't control everything. You know, that's
Yeah. I mean, it's not as simple as a lot of people like to make it out to be. I would argue, though.
yeah, yeah,
There's a lot of places where men get the short end of the stick in regards to the prison population, suicide rates, homelessness.
yeah. That's true.
A lot of places where we get other benefits, but it's a complicated subject. Let's
It's a very complicated
leave
subject.
that for another day.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
complicated suspect subject at even more complicated times. No, you fucking A,
yeah,
man. Holy shit.
yeah.
That's so crazy. So one thing I wanted to ask too is, do we have any idea about what these infrastructure projects in Libya are, or what they were funding?
uh, You'd have to look it up. No, roads, bridges, dams, or
Gotcha,
something.
gotcha,
Maybe
gotcha,
but I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, and so too also this obviously has like if this company is being protected by the Canadian government and they're fucking fighting tooth and nail to protect this
Yeah.
company must be some sort of fucking power elite or run by
Yeah.
some
Oh,
power
for
elite
sure, for
family.
sure. They're from Quebec.
Uh-huh.
Quebec is widely regarded to be kind of the old money of Canada.
Okay.
When Canada was first founded, Quebec was kind of uh, where the first settlements were. I believe Quebec City, I believe, is the oldest city in North America or
Okay.
something along those lines. I mean, it looks like a medieval city,
Right.
Quebec
Oh, that's
City.
tight. That sounds pretty tight.
Yeah, it's cool. And so Montreal, which is the largest city in Quebec, used to be the power center of Canada until we had under Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Trudeau, we had a massive crisis in Canada where we had Quebec separatists who wanted to turn Quebec into its own country
Oh
because
shit.
they speak French there, and so they kidnapped government officials. Um, Pierre Trudeau, Justin Trudeau's father, declared martial law, um, and all of this stuff scared all the corporations out of Quebec. So they all moved from Montreal to Toronto, and that was kind of the turning point from which Toronto took the lead as the premier financial center of Canada,
Mm-hmm.
away from Montreal. So in terms of old money and stuff like that, absolutely, SNC-Lavalin is clearly very tight with government.
Right.
For and I'll repeat the statement I made before, but because of the obvious reason, that as an infrastructure company, your client, your customer, is not the consumer, although in the end they are the consumer. But the person paying your bills or paying your invoices is the government. So truthfully, if there's going to be corruption anywhere, you're going to find corruption most likely in corporations that interact directly with government. So just like you see in the military industrial complex or in the healthcare set, well, I guess not in the healthcare sector in America, but because of that reason.
Right.
So
Right. Right. And what's going on right now in Canada with like lockdown procedures? Are there any? If is Justin Trudeau pushing that? Is
well, it's it's almost entirely removed now.
Okay.
But we had to have our vaccine passports.
Mm-hmm.
The government was revealed to be tracing all Canadians' location data, cell phone location data, without they never
Oh
asked.
my God.
Somebody just revealed it.
Yeah.
The government was just conveniently keeping track of where 30 million cell phones were at all times, under the guise of somehow that helping stop the
Oh Jesus.
spread of
Yeah.
COVID. But where we are right now, we know Canada Day is coming up July 1st. So that's kind of our July 4th. And we have a whole bunch of people going back to Ottawa who supposedly are going to be camping out in Ottawa for part of the summer. So we'll see how big of a thing that is. But
Is that just like
it has
is
to.
like a celebratory like for the holiday event gathering, or are they
Yeah,
gathering
but the anti-lockdown, freedom convoy kind of people are supposedly, some of them are heading back to Ottawa. So we'll have to see how big that is.
is the freedom convoy
But
are you talking about the truck convoy that was in Canada?
yeah,
So
yeah.
what can you give me a rundown on that? Because I didn't, I've heard a little bit about that, but I'm also very interested in what that was. I heard it was a
Yeah.
protest, but what
Yeah.
do you know
Um,
anything?
I like what about it? It was massive. I think the largest protest in Canadian history.
No
There
shit.
were overpasses all the way from British Columbia all the way to Ottawa. These trucks were driving down the highway, and you had people lining the highway, lining the overpasses. It was massive, and then they
That
shut
is.
down downtown Ottawa. You must have seen. I guess you saw the clips of Ottawa at least, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
so
saw some of
and
those.
then and then that whole thing. They declared the Emergencies Act, which is martial law. So the two times that martial law has been declared in Canada is under Justin Trudeau,
Oh
and
man.
before that, Justin Trudeau's father. And so it's been revealed in last week that the government lied about the Emergencies Act. They said that the police were asking for the Emergencies Act to be declared, asking for martial law. But the truth is, it finally got revealed that all of the police departments stated that they had never asked for the Emergencies Act,
Oh
and
man.
now, everyone's asking for our Minister of Safety to resign. But
No shit, dude.
these people are like Teflon, right?
Right.
They it seems like they get away with anything. And the protests were incredible. I mean, in terms of how to conduct a peaceful, nonviolent protest. The city stopped shoveling the sidewalks, so the protesters were removing all the snow,
Oh
picking up all the
man.
garbage. The city stopped picking up the garbage, stopped shoveling the sidewalks. So it was a real, because when you're protesting against the government, against the mainstream narrative, the media and everybody are doing everything in their power to try to discredit you,
Oh yeah.
slander you. Justin Trudeau called everybody that was involved misogynist, racist, Nazis, and I think those slurs, have been used a lot over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
But I think there's something about the fact that those issues are not related to COVID in any way whatsoever. That just pointed out the absurdity of it.
Right. Oh, for
That
sure.
because a lot of people are aware that those things are overused and abused to slander people that are on the political right, even though the political spectrum is all something of like a mental box that they put people into.
Oh,
I don't
totally,
really
bro.
even believe in it. Although people fall into the trap, absolutely,
Terribly.
of agreeing with everything that's on the right, agreeing with everything that's on the left. People fall into that trap, and but it is something of I think it's something like a social construct to contain people's ability to think critically, something along those lines, But
I entirely believe that as well.
I kind of lost my train of thought there. But what was I going on about?
You were going on about I lost my train of thought too. You were going on about, we were talking about oh Jesus, Murphy. We were going on about the fucking
Freedom Convoy.
That's
and
right, the Freedom
they
the
declared
Freedom
the
Convoy.
Emergencies
That's right.
Act.
The Emergencies Act, and something was just declared too. Here in America, Homeland Security. It was like this. It's this bulletin of international terrorism or some shit that they're declaring right now. And if you could get onto the Homeland Security website, man, it's pretty fucking scary. It says that it's like basically the turmoil that's happening in America because of all the shit that is happening with this system that they have made to have us destroy ourselves, which is the right and the left, liberal, everything. In my opinion, I just think that's how I feel, is like it's meticulously planned social deconstruction when they're having all of this shit that is just so conveniently happening, one after another, after another, after another, each of these meticulously planned events
What's it called? Sorry, Homeland Security Terrorism. I'm just gonna look it up so I can look it up later.
Search up Department of Homeland Security Terrorist Act, or just search up the Department of Homeland Security. It's like on the front fucking page when I looked at it.
Okay, so yeah, the Department of Homeland Security is clearly you had your whole Ministry of Disinformation thing going on.
1984. 1984.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude. Ministry
really?
of Truth right there is what that fucking is, And look who they're putting at the head of that shit. That lady is a goddamn liar.
Yeah, total cuckoo.
Total cuckoo. That was the lady that was saying that the fucking shit that was going on with Frazzle Drip was some anti-Trump shit, when in reality, it's like, this has nothing to do with the campaign. This has to do with the fact that we just saw some satanic rituals on Anthony Weiner's laptop, It has nothing to do with the campaign. But they
I'm not aware of that. That's there was some satanic rituals on Anthony Weiner's laptop.
On Anthony, so it gets scrubbed so hard, bro, so hard. But so yeah, there was on Anthony Weiner's laptop, the FBI recovered a video called Frazzle Drip, and the video Frazzle Drip allegedly contains I'm not going to go into too much detail because of how graphic it is, but basically adrenochrome gathering rituals that involved Hillary Clinton and I believe Kamala Harris, and I don't remember if Bill Clinton was said to be there, but I think it was just Hillary in a very, very disgusting Black Saturn type ritualistic deed that she was doing on video.
Okay.
And
wow.
Yeah, allegedly.
So are we ever gonna? Do you think that those videos exist on somebody's thumb drive off the internet where it hasn't been scrubbed?
There is one person I know that was connected with this that said that he has saved it and he is now in Russia hiding out, and said if he has been killed, then they will be released via some sort of like kill switch. Like if he's found dead, someone's gonna send it out. But
you heard about this guy, or this guy?
I do not know him personally. I have heard about him. I can't even remember what his name is. And when I have heard, this is total word of mouth when it comes to this guy with this kill switch thing, because from the original source that I've even heard that from, I can no longer find, because the shit that has to do with Frazzle Drip gets scrubbed off the internet so fucking quickly, and not to mention 9 of the 12 police officers that raided that house and saw what was contained on that Frazzle Drip file, they're dead now. And most of them, admittedly, I do believe some of them committed suicide because they couldn't handle what they saw, but I also think some of them were offed. And there is one cop that he's still out there. I just heard him on a fucking podcast a while ago. It was on the Cult of Conspiracy podcast. They were playing clips from his testimony, and you can hear in his voice how serious he is about the testimony.
How do you feel about the threat that both of us are under?
I'm terrified.
Yeah,
I'm terrified. Yeah, I think it's nearing the end, man. And I got a 6-year-old little girl here, and like, for us, dude, I think very soon in the next month or so, we're going to start experiencing actual civil war. Like, and it's like, I know that
Uh,
I can already think in my head, about how some people are going to rationalize what they're doing, and like, the issue is that they don't know who the real enemy is, because this system has got them so fucking worked up about their
Yeah.
beliefs and their politics that
mhm.
they're not going to see the man behind the curtain. They're going to be
And they want the man behind the curtain wants civil war because then they have all the justification that they need for martial law, for observing everyone's cell phone texts and emails, for confiscating your guns,
That's
right?
right.
Because it's all under they want that. That's what they want. And in addition to that, they drive the division to keep people distracted, right? This guy's my neighbor is the enemy, not the guy in the White House and
Exactly.
the World Economic Forum,
Exactly. Those evil
the rest of
fuckers.
it.
Dude, I would box
Yeah.
every single one of those guys in my mom's backyard if I
Yeah.
could. But I can't.
It's
So
it's messed up.
it's
Like
messed
this
up.
stuff is
They're playing chess.
stuff is serious,
It's serious.
As-
It's scary serious,
as-
dude. It's getting
I
scary
know.
serious. Scary
It
serious.
is.
And for me, I
Yeah.
started getting scared when I saw that my father, who works at the county, who has had his job at the county for fucking 35 years, had to take a vaccine because otherwise he was going to be fired,
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
when I started realizing, oh fuck.
Mhm.
This is not going to get any better. And you want to hear something fucking interesting too, my friend? Get this. So this last little bit with Roe versus Wade getting overturned, everybody's fucking freaking out about it. But like 2 days before they overturned Roe versus Wade, they also made it so police officers here in the United States no longer have to read you your Miranda rights before they arrest you. I shit you not. And it's not even really,
Really?
it's not even really that they don't have to read you the rights. It's just that they can't be sued or held liable if they do not. So that's
Okay.
another loophole law. And you could search that up. That just happened, I think, 2 days ago, or maybe the
Yeah,
day
I-
right before that. But that's some stressful shit to me.
That's scary. That's it's often some. And I heard there was another thing. Maxine Waters revealed something about Robin Hood trading, some corruption involved there on the same day as the Roe v. Wade verdict
Yeah.
being released. Kind of like, if you remember, this is a tactic of theirs. The day before, either the same day or the day before 9/11, they revealed that 2 point something trillion, I think it was $2.3 trillion was missing from the Pentagon.
Oh,
they just
man.
couldn't account for it.
Oh,
They didn't
man.
know. And for people that don't, sometimes when you're talking about big numbers, they all sound the same. But $2 trillion, that's more than the GDP of Canada.
That's a lot of fucking money.
It's a lot.
Did you
of
say
fucking, it's like,
trillion with a
yeah,
trillion
yeah,
dollars?
That's right, 2.3 trillion. So that would be something like, I don't think you guys have even sent $100 billion to Ukraine yet. I'm fairly certain it's under $100 billion.
Right.
So this would be more than 20 times that much was just missing.
Just poof out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then 9/11, and I believe, according to what some claim, is that the plane or missile, because there was never any footage of a plane or any plane wreckage at the Pentagon.
Right.
What hit the accounting department of the Pentagon, where the investigation into this missing.
Into that, yes. How fucking
Yeah.
convenient. How fucking convenient,
So,
America. Sons of bitches.
Again, the other thing about this, unfortunately, when you're talking about these conspiracy theories, is I think what the people in power do is they use false conspiracies to discredit people that are bringing these things to the light and trying to wake people up.
Right.
And that's my opinion of flat earth, of chemtrails, although I do understand that chemtrails are, climate change geoengineering is a thing that they have tested.
Right.
And but in terms of whether or not, chemtrails are happening on a mass scale, I mean, it's water vapor, right? And in terms of things that would be found out about, it's one thing to have a bunch of elites keeping their mouths shut and being threatened with, being murdered if they reveal any of the secrets. But with having giant tanks of chemicals on the airport runways, and nobody has found these, like flat Earth, chemtrails, aliens is potentially a real thing. But in my opinion of it, obviously it's potentially a real thing. The universe is so large. Anyone who says it's not potentially true is stupid. But my personal opinion of it is that it's used to discredit people, and I think that's why the Pentagon is releasing all this information, because the true conspiracy theories about the World Economic Forum, about Freemasons, and the satanic nature of most of our elites.
Right.
We have to get into all this still, but to distract from that, they give us these other things that people allow people to say, "Oh, this guy's crazy over here. Don't listen to him about these other true things he's trying to wake you up to."
Right. Because the CIA dubbed the fucking the whole word or the phrase conspiracy theorist came out, during that MK Ultra timeline, because people were realizing that shit was happening, and when it all came to light and the victims started coming out and speaking about it, most of America, I think, looked at them like they were fucking crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Still, I mean, if you go out and ask the average person who knows about MK Ultra, I didn't know about it till a few months ago, till after the Emergencies Act with the Freedom Convoy. That woke me up. That was a red line I had in the sand in terms of
that's a good thing.
What am I going to allow my government to do before I need to start looking into this stuff?
Right.
I only started really looking into conspiracy theories and stuff for the past 6 months. Before that, it was something I kind of
wow, man. Well, that's
didn't
good.
pay attention to.
I mean, it's good. It's good to wake up and see what shit is and what's going on, man. And do you think that a lot of people in Canada are starting to realize that shit is just fucked?
I think so. I think there's I think Canadians are somewhat in tune with stuff going on in the internet and stuff to a higher extent than some other people. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if my Reddit feed is skewed towards Canadian content, but they're always do you find a disproportionate amount of Canadian content stuff on Reddit, or is that just because I'm in Canada that happens?
I think that it really does depend on where your IP is.
So that might
because it can give you, I mean, you can get stuff that are, if it's circulating and it's getting a bunch of upvotes and whatnot, a lot of karma,
that makes more sense.
It'll go around to everybody. But I noticed when I'm using my VPN, if I have my VPN on and I get on Reddit, it will straight up show me shit from Sweden. You know what I mean?
More global.
Yeah, it's more global.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I need to get a VPN because that's the other that's the other thing. In Canada, we just passed a new bill. It's called, for those of you wanting to know what internet censorship might look like in a dystopian future, you can look up Bill C-11 in Canada. I hope if anything that we're going through in Canada, if there can be any bright side to it, I hope we can just be a warning to the rest of the world and to the United States in particular, with our handguns being banned after Uvalde, with Bill C-11 that just passed last week.
Didn't even know.
Regulating the internet. No, they won't. There's lots of Canadians that don't know about this. Right. I mean, you have to be a Canadian that doesn't pay attention to politics.
Yeah.
But there are definitely still lots of Canadians that don't know about this. So in terms of people outside of Canada that don't, no, that's not getting on CNN or even Fox, or maybe if we're lucky, some international people will cover it. But it's so bad that even Twitter, even Google, who's in charge of YouTube, even they were blowing the whistle, were writing to Parliament saying like, hey, this is not a good idea. This is going to put you into leagues with China and North Korea in terms of the amount of power that the government has over internet content.
Oh my God, that is
So,
scary.
Yeah,
It's insane.
It's honestly fucking terrifying to be in Canada right now.
Dude, that is fucking insane. Jesus, Murphy.
But I think your original question was, are Canadians more in tune with conspiracy theories and stuff? I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. That Klaus Schwab quote, the fact that more than half of our cabinet has been penetrated by the World Economic Forum.
And that half of your half of your government system.
Yeah, well, the cabinet is the political party that's in power.
Okay, so is that similar to the Supreme Court here?
No, it's more like the inner circle of the party that's in power is what the cabinet is.
Okay.
So you'll have, those are your ministers in charge of, your Minister of Environment, Minister of Transportation, Minister of Infrastructure, those people.
Gotcha.
Whereas then you have other ministers that are just representing their region, right? Just normal ministers. And then you have the cabinet who have additional responsibilities.
I see. Okay, yeah. I'm not too in keen with the Canadian politics, or even really American politics. I've been living honestly under a rock, and I didn't start doing any type of podcasting or I would say that I've been red pilled for some time now. I've been pretty kind of awake. I remember when I was a kid, I watched Zeitgeist as a kid, and that movie really woke me up to everything. And
that's a big one.
Yeah, it was a good one, man. And I remember seeing it on something when I was a kid, man. I think I found the fucking like a hard copy of it, or like a VHS of it or something, and I watched it and I was like, whoa, this shit is for real, man. And then ever since then, I've just been questioning this.
Those are massive things, 9/11. The fact that the Federal Reserve is privately owned, it's owned by the banks that it's supposed to regulate. The people that it's supposed to hold, to the people that it's supposed to regulate are the same people that own it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so
the people it's supposed to control are the ones that are pulling the strings, huh?
And it pays a dividend.
Sons of bitches.
It's like it's privately owned and it pays a dividend.
Sons of bitches.
It's
God, they really got us
absurd.
in a fucked up system. Man.
And what was the third part of the original Zeitgeist was religion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't know if I guess you kind of found out about me through a Reddit post on the Thompson family.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw that you had posted it across a bunch of things, and I was like, I read it, and I was like, this is tight. I like what this guy has to say about this shit. Yeah. I was like, secret society shit and whatnot. Hell yeah,
it's big. And even though I said, for me, conspiracy theories have only been a thing that I've taken seriously in terms of investigating and even believing. Like even MK Ultra, I didn't know about that till 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Or till some point when I started digging this stuff up, because you don't hear about it on the news and the newspaper, any of those things. Like I have been in tune with educating myself through the news since I was like 12 years old. I was reading the newspaper every day.
Right.
The only problem is I was reading the Globe and Mail.
Yep.
Right. So, and I guess, do we want to go through with the Thompson family and who they are and whatnot? Or?
Oh yeah, bro. I want to hear it all. Yeah, we want to hear it all, man. So, we question everything here, so that's what we're about. We want to hear it.
There's not much more that I know more than what I wrote.
Okay.
But what I wrote is rock solid, scary stuff, right? So basically, the Globe and Mail, which is this newspaper I was trying to educate myself with, the majority of the shares are owned by the Thompson family.
Mm-hmm.
And the Thompson family also owns 100% of Thomson Reuters. Thomson Reuters is, one of the largest, if not the largest, journalistic organization, right? This is the place where other newspapers use as a primary reference, right? So where they get their information from.
Are they like one of the because we have they're called writers?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Roy. I know it's hard to pronounce. I fucked up.
I fucked up. I've never. Yeah, I've read it before.
Reuters.
Got you.
Yeah.
I see a lot of that name
all the time. You see it all the time
because it says fact checked by blah blah blah.
Exactly. Reuters is used as as like the primary source. Oh, they're like so dependable that this is who we can reference, as our source. So the only problem with that is that they are 100% owned by the Thompson family. The Thompson family is the richest family in Canada. And one of the, red flags for, anyone aware with how the world works is we have David Thompson quoted here. I'll read verbatim. There is an expectation that is part of one's psychic inheritance, which says, you have made a pledge. You now are a secret member of a secret order. So for those of us that are aware of, the Freemasons and all the rest of it, this should be raising some red flags, to say the least.
Some fucking eyebrows.
Yeah, to say the very least, right? And I'm from Toronto, and so I've my entire life very in tune with watching all the documentaries and reading all the news I can to try to stay as informed as I could, but without having been fully aware of just how corrupt our government is. So one of the examples of not understanding the power structure behind everything is our mayor in Toronto. I was completely unaware, but this Maclean's article that maybe we can maybe link some of the stuff that I wrote maybe on I could put it as a comment on your YouTube page, or if you make a Reddit post, you can maybe link this stuff so people can follow the links if they want to read up on this stuff.
Oh,
themselves.
for sure, dude. You can send me whatever Discord, and I will include whatever you want me to include to or your
that'd
stuff.
be good, just for in case anyone is interested enough to look up anything that catches their attention. So Mayor Tory is the son of John A. Tory, who was the right-hand man to David Thompson's father. That's how he got. That's how he became mayor of Toronto. He's connected to the richest family. His father was the right-hand man to the richest family in Canada.
The bloodlines will run deep and
fuck. And then we have Jim Smith, who is the ex-CEO of Thomson Reuters, and he now sits on the board of Pfizer and is involved with the International Business Council of the World Economic Forum. Then for those of you that know about the Rothschilds, which I haven't gotten that in depth into it, but I know a lot of people speculate that the Rothschilds are either at the top of the hierarchy or very close to the top of the hierarchy of the hidden power structure behind our world, right? They finance entire countries,
right,
during the Napoleonic Wars and World War I and II. I believe these guys are so wealthy,
and they fund both sides of every war. They never step a foot into the war, but they fund both sides of them. That's how that's some sons of bitches have been doing it since the dawn of time, man.
And they're all inbred, that's documented.
Right. Yeah, they're all inbred and fucking they like to do the third cousin type deal. Keep their bloodline strong. That's what they believe.
There's I mean, the royal families in Europe have been doing that for a long time, but I believe the Rothschilds take it to another level.
Yeah, man.
I also found it really interesting when I realized that Charles Darwin like married his cousin too, which you'd think of all people that would be aware of the genetic defects produced by inbreeding. You
Right.
would think Darwin would have been aware of it, but I guess
you
not.
never know. Yeah. God. Fuck.
And then, so I don't know if you've ever gone with your listeners into the satanic nature of these elites, but fitting with that hypothesis is the fact that the Thompsons spent over $100 million at the time of the purchase. I believe it was the third most amount of money ever spent on a piece of art, on the purchase of the Massacre of the Innocents, which is a painting which depicts a scene in the Bible where Herod, king of Judea, orders the execution of all male children 2 years old and under in an attempt to kill Jesus.
Ugh.
So the painting is a depiction of a guy with a baby, in his arms, and he's about to smack this baby down on
Oh
a
man.
concrete slab to bash the baby's skull in, and laying around his feet is a pile of dead babies.
Oh.
So this absolutely fits in with that hypothesis 100%.
So much so. That is some fucking satanic adrenochrome junkie sounding shit right there, dude.
Yeah. So did you see? I made another post on the internet in the past week of piecing some other things together, because that's more or less what I have on the Thompson family.
I believe I did see a little bit of the second post, because I was trying to go back and find the first post today, but I don't think I was able to find the first post, but I did find the second one, and I think I even have it pulled up on my phone. But
yeah, because I really believe that if you want to take a bird's eye view of what's going on, I think that's a decent bird's eye view, of connecting the dots that in a really concise way. What I mean by concise is just like with few words, where you can read it within. It only takes 5 minutes to read that, and it kind of pieces together.
Oh yeah, yep, okay, yeah, I see
a lot of things. At least that's what I was trying to do, and because so this is one of the things about dissecting these secret societies. Like I said, one thing is these guys are constantly trying to throw us off with tangents that are meant to discredit us and lead us on wild goose chases, right? That's what they're trying to do.
Yes.
That's what I think flat Earth is, and Bigfoot, and the rest of it, right? Is
over here,
distract
over
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me distract you. Let me take your attention and time away from these other important things, and take your time and make you focus on this.
Right.
And then also discredit you by other people seeing how ridiculous some of these things are. But this stuff, the presence of Freemasons in our society is somewhat hidden, somewhat well known, right? But I don't think that. God, man, this shit is really terrifying to talk about, because I mean, you and me are genuinely in danger. We're small fish, small fish.
Very much so. Yeah.
So you'd hope, and in one respect, that makes us, hopefully small enough that they can ignore. On the other hand, it makes us small enough that
they can
they
whack.
could get away.
Yep.
If they can get away with whacking, much more prominent people. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the list of people closely associated with the Clintons that have been murdered.
Oh yeah, the Clinton kill list.
It's a long list.
It's a very long list, and it'd make you think that after seeing and being a fucking bodyguard for the Clintons, and then you go there for your day of getting hired onto being a bodyguard for the Clintons, that the guy might look at that and be like, "How many of these motherfuckers have you gotten killed?" You know. Do I get danger pay? Where's my hazard pay, man? Because it looks like this is a very fucking dangerous job.
Yeah.
Being closely associated with the Clintons is the most dangerous job in America. Like, fuck, dude.
And I think the Epstein Island woke a lot of people up too, though. I really think that more people are awake to this stuff than at any point before in history.
Right.
I'm a testament to that, but because the Epstein Island was massive, was recent,
very recent,
and so was the COVID pandemic that woke a lot of people up.
Oh yeah.
And that is also recent. And in terms of like the internet's only been around for what we can say 20 years or so, something like that, in terms of mass adoption.
Yeah, in terms of it being widely available to the general public. Yeah.
And then in terms of content creators and investigative journalists and conspiracy investigators.
We breed like rats on the internet, We breed like rats on the internet. We just fuck,
But even that, so even if the mass adoption of the internet is only 20 years old, I think it's somewhat fair to say that them having a massive amount of content available for investigating things has maybe only been around in widespread use for 10 years, I would say.
Yeah.
You could disagree with that.
No, I would say that's probably about right. Yeah, man. Because fuck. The Freedom of Information Act happened in, I think it was the 80s. But the thing is about the Freedom of Information Act is that none of that shit was accessible to the public, unless, of course, you could go into like archives of libraries, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm honestly, I'm not sure how that works with, I think that, because now everything's just uploaded to the internet. I'm not sure how it worked back then. Or do they have to physically go get the MK Ultra files and fucking present them in court?
They did. MK Ultra, remember, a lot of it was done in Canada.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Dr. Green.
To keep it kind of like the gain of function research was outsourced to Ukraine and China, right? Because it was made illegal to do on soil on home soil in the United States. So they, take over old Soviet biolabs in Ukraine. We're talking like there's like 50 of them, right?
Major operations, dude. Major operations that are probably still going on today. Honestly.
And you have the Undersecretary of State. I don't know if you saw that clip of her, Newland. What's her first name? The Undersecretary of State for the United States. Something Newland. You could quickly find it up on the internet, and there's a clip of her stating, when Russia first invaded, she was saying, we're really scared of the Russians getting their hands on these biolabs.
Oh, man.
And then people started asking, well, what are these biolabs? What's going on here? And, the official narrative was, nothing's going on. This is just
we don't know.
Harmless. Harmless.
Right.
So if it's harmless biological research, why are you so concerned about the Russians getting their hands on it?
That's right, man. Because it's a fucking arms race, and it's always been an arms race. It's always been an arms race, and that's a big thing that we do here in America. And not only do government organizations do it, and different types of government sectors that be like fucking I don't know, contracted out to do this or that or that or this or whatever you may have you. We have laws that protect these motherfuckers and these corporations like Nestle and like I mean all these other bigwig corporations that basically provided the whole amount of food for America. That's like these corporations and these fucking government organizations cannot be held liable for crimes committed outside of United States soil. So shit that is happening in like, I'm talking mass graves caused by Nestle, bro. Mass graves of children. And they're like,
We have
to
that in
bottle our
Canada,
water.
too.
To bottle our fucking water. You know?
Yeah.
Talk about how much fucking water was pumped out of Flint, Michigan by Nestle while people couldn't fucking take a bath, bro.
I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that you had those laws. I knew that we had them in Canada. We have like all of the mining corporations in the world are headquartered in Canada.
Yeah.
Because we have the same laws, at least for the mining industry. I'm aware of this, where they cannot be held accountable in Canadian court for crimes committed outside of Canada.
Wow.
So obviously, SNC-Lavalin as an infrastructure firm must not have fallen under that regulation.
Right.
But in terms of the mining corporations, that's how that operates.
All
So it's
plays
the
off of
same.
them. Yeah, man,
It's
that is fucking
like,
crazy.
I guess as SNC-Lavalin proved, even when they do find a way to try to get someone held accountable, they'll just create a new law to
That's what they do.
defer
That's what they do.
prosecution.
That's what they do. It's always something, bro. It's always something.
Yeah.
They always just
But,
have to
you
fucking
know,
spin it in some way or another.
in terms of scrubbing the internet, like you were talking about earlier, luckily I found maybe the best document that I found describing Satanists and what they believe
Mm-hmm.
was scrubbed from the internet within the past month
Are
or
you
so.
kidding me?
Yeah, but luckily I downloaded it before that, so I've re-uploaded it on one of those free. You can host a PDF online. There's some websites that'll let you do it for free.
Yeah.
So for everybody listening and stuff, whenever you find anything that's important, download it.
Almost
You know,
definitely.
and because you don't know how long that's going to be left up on the internet.
Screen record it,
So
share it, store it, do whatever you can.
Yeah.
Copy
Take
the
it, if it's a
text.
PDF,
Yeah, exactly.
If it's a PDF, you can download it. If it's something just on your screen, you can screenshot it. Even if it's a web page, you can download web pages,
That's
right?
right.
So
Archive that
make
fucking
sure you just download that web page. Just click on the top right hand corner and more tools or whatever, and download. And once a year or whatever it is, make sure you get that on a USB drive or something, because
Yep.
we're not. This is not a game.
It's not a game
This
anymore.
Yeah.
It's getting down to them using fucking battle type strategy on the American people and the Canadian people. So
Yeah.
Chinese people definitely. I mean, they've been getting it hardcore for fucking, God knows how long now. But it's just, it is how it is. I don't know, man. We just got to keep fighting the good fight and fucking keep our heads up and just see what we can do with what we have. With the hands we're dealt.
Yeah, just hope for the best, I guess.
That's right. Do you have any words on what that document contained that was getting scrubbed off the internet?
Yeah, I think did I open it? I did open it up. Yeah.
I don't have too much time left, but if we could go into that, I want to hear a little bit about that document.
Sure. So the basic teachings or beliefs. I'll just read this paragraph really quickly. The Church of Satan worships Satan, most clearly symbolized in the Roman god Lucifer, the bearer of light, the spirit of the air, and the personification of enlightenment. Satan is not visualized as an anthropomorphic being, anthropomorphic meaning human. Rather, he represents the forces of nature, i.e. animals. Those IEs are my words, by the way.
Yep.
To the Satanist, the self is the highest embodiment of human life and is sacred. And I'll make a little comment here again. So yeah, to the Satanist, the self, they worship themselves. Sometimes they say, we're not a religion. We're, as a Satanist, I'm not really religious. We just, it's about self-improvement and worshiping themselves. Well, the other thing you need to remember is that Satan is a liar and Satanists are liars, and they lie about what their true beliefs are. But
right.
These are what their true beliefs. The Church of Satan is essentially a human potential movement. and members are encouraged to develop whatever capabilities they can by which they might excel. They are, however, cautioned to recognize their limitations, an important factor in this philosophy of rational self-interest. Satanists practice magic, the art of changing situations or events in accordance with one's will, which would, using normally accepted methods, be impossible. So they believe in magic. They they are encouraged to develop whatever capabilities they can by which they might excel. So again, they excuse all kinds of immoral acts, lying,
That's magic with a K.
blackmail.
That's a magic with a K, right? Does it specify
You're
that?
right. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
magic with a K.
CK.
Yep, yeah, the CK,
Well,
or like
what
chaos.
does that mean something? Is there a hidden esoteric meaning behind that?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so, but I'm not entirely too sure what it is, but I know that there's a difference that has to do with the type of magic. Like, so, and this is one thing that like really kind of was like, what the fuck to me, is that I've kind of started seeing stuff in social media, them spelling it with the ICK. I saw something on Disney post it and said something about Disney magic, bro. Fuck, they spelt it with the ICK.
Magic with a K is Aleister Crowley.
It's
so
yes,
Aleister.
right.
Yeah, so I know Aleister Crowley, and hopefully your listeners do too, because this is big. This is he's a lot of people kind of associate him with the grandfather of Satanism in the West.
Oh yeah,
You can
chaos.
kind of say.
He was the chaos. He was the king of chaos magic back in the day.
Thanks for pointing that out. That's a good thing to notice when you're reading things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want,
it could really. Sorry for interrupting you, but I think that really when it comes in terms of like the different types of magic that you'll be seeing anybody or anything talking about, then yeah, that is a very good differentiation of like when it's a magic that is used like it is chaos magic or sex magic or ritualistic type magic. And another thing too, I want to mention that is like the stuff that was going on in that picture that you were talking about, that of them killing the babies and shit, that satanic shit, that can be considered a type. Adrenochrome gathering is considered chaos magic with a K, similar to what you're going into now about with the Satanism stuff. So I just wanted to mention how that could tie to also to shit like Frazzle Drip, like how I mentioned earlier. So Frazzle Drip, the whole thing that Frazzle Drip was, I said it was a satanic ritual. Yes, it was a satanic ritual, but it was a satanic magic with a K ritual. Sorry for the interruption. Continue. Sorry.
Okay, so there was one other little bit of information that there's lots of information in this document, but another thing that was maybe most insightful, and I think this stuff is even more insightful than that paragraph I just read, is the ethical stance of the Church of Satan. Now, these people are not ethical, but they twist morality to fit their twisted worldview, which is all about worshiping themselves, indulging in this life, and so these are the 9 satanic statements.
Okay.
Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Number 2, Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. So both of these things are about, indulging in this life, whether, that's sex, wealth, drugs, power, all of that. Take all of it. It's part of it's justified under Satanist ethics. Number 3, Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. That's just some bullshit is what that sounds like.
That's right. That's right, brother.
Right? Like sure, whatever. Yeah, we're the ones that are hypocritically self-deceiving ourselves.
Right.
So like not you guys who are telling yourselves that murder and vengeance and all this are somehow ethically okay.
Yeah. No,
as
you
long
guys
as
are right. Yeah, we're the dumbasses. Sorry.
Yeah.
God, man.
Number 4, Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. So again, it's like, yeah, we're kind. We're kind to other Satanists. Like, but fuck everybody else. So these people are not, they're not aware of this, esoteric, hidden knowledge.
Right,
You
right.
guys are so stupid.
Right. Oh man. Cocky sons of
Number
bitches.
5, Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. Again, these are not good people. Number 6, Satan represents responsibility for the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. I'm sorry, I can't give a good interpretation of that. It kind of just sounds like gibberish to me. But
I can give you a quick explanation of what a psychic vampire is. Because
yeah,
I've
what
actually
is
done a
it?
lot of, I've read the Satanic Bible and all that shit just because I just kind of wanted to figure out what the fuck they were thinking about,
Absolutely, you have to understand them.
And I kind of looked at it as a psyop in a kind of a way, but then I was like, nah, man, there's some more to this. I always think there's always more to everything, but what their description of a psychic vampire is basically somebody that feeds off of negativity either that they cause or just somebody that feeds really off of energy. They feed off of your energy. It's a psychic vampire, so they drain you of your energy, and that's basically what their explanation of it was. So I don't really know. I mean, I try to think about what would be a psychic vampire. I mean, them really? Because if they're
exactly, yeah.
Satanists.
Well, so then it makes it hard to. Maybe we'll just move on to the next one because again,
really,
interpreting that ethical stance, it says that they don't have responsibility for psychic vampires.
It sounds like hypocritical deceit on their own part to me, but
yeah. So I'm not sure. I can't.
We can move on to the next one.
I don't fully understand. Yeah, the next one, number 7. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all. So again, it's, Satan is represented as a shape-shifting animal, a snake or a bull or a goat,
right.
And then they go on to say, humans are pieces of shit, and animals are often more ethical than humans.
Right. Right.
Is what that statement essentially says. And one of the things that woke me up, another thing that woke me up, because I kind of woke up to this stuff during the Freedom Convoy, and I was watching the live streams of some of the protesters, and a bunch of them were educated me on a bunch of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of freaked out about it, and then I kind of just, I did what the general public does, like just say, like, this is too crazy. This can't be true.
Right.
This is a conspiracy theory. And then I came up to my parents' house, and I picked a book off the table, or bookshelf. Need to be accurate. So I'm like that. So
it's all good.
I'll correct myself. What I am is honest, man. I'm honest. Like if I won't even twist that. Picking a book off the table versus the bookshelf.
Yeah, it's the way to be, man.
It's a book from the Rockefellers. And it's called Masterpieces of Primitive Art. And you need to look this shit up. This I think it was printed in the 70s. And some of the most damning stuff that I found, that is like these people being caught red-handed exposing themselves, is pre-internet. Another one of the things is the Bush Senior, the speeches he gave on 1,000 Points of Light, which was before the internet, because before the internet, these guys were getting away with. They were just rubbing it. Like, you think they're rubbing it in our faces right now?
They were fucking writing books about it.
Yeah, pre-internet, they were writing books about it. They were talking about it openly in speeches at conventions in front of thousands of people. because the conspiracy, theory and conspiracy investigative community was smaller, and they didn't have the same resources to investigate, archive, collect, discuss as we do now with the internet. And so this book, it's filled with art from primitive societies and these are the words used to describe the every picture of a mask or a sculpture. Each one has a little description, and I think there's about 20 of them which they openly describe as, this piece is from the secret controlling society from Papua New Guinea. This one is from the secret controlling society of Africa.
Oh my
this
God.
This one is a depiction of a man being hung for breaching the initiatory secrets of a secret controlling society. Someone being hung for blowing the whistle, right? And some of these, if I should send you some pictures.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's blowing my mind.
Yeah, these pictures. Some of it is you can find some of them online, but I think I'll send you some pictures that I'll take of some of these pieces.
That's insane, dude.
If I asked you to go find an artist and get that artist to create a mask of Satan, that is what you would like. You would see. Some of these pieces are exactly what, like, it's right in your face,
No kidding, huh?
So, I wanted to make, because I know you said you're almost out of time. I wanted to make sure I finished these points here, though, because there's two more, I guess.
Okay.
And then the next one, I think the next one is the most, maybe, if you want to just sum up Satanism, maybe in one sentence, this might be it. Satan represents all of the so-called sins as they lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. So what's called a sin in Christianity is called a virtue in Satanism. Pride is a sin. So you look at Pride Month, and I have nothing against homosexuals.
Right.
Absolutely. My opinion is, they're born like that.
Right.
I don't believe you should, be introducing young children to, over sexualizing them and all that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that. No indoctrination of children at young ages, but
yeah, exactly. Just leave sexual stuff out of it.
For sure.
Until after puberty.
Right.
But in terms of pride is a sin, and so now you have Pride Month, which really should be renamed Pride and Lust Month. Because it's one thing to be homosexual, but you don't see but twerking naked.
There's a lot of kinky shit involved in all of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's lust, right? Yes. And lust is another sin. And you have gluttony. So in terms of fat shaming and all this, and how they, absolutely, if someone's fat, they might be going through things. They might, have all kinds of issues. But the solution is not to say it's okay to be fat.
Yeah, that's right, dude. Oh man.
Just, absolutely be understanding, be compassionate, be
correct.
Don't be judgmental, all of that. But don't say, being fat is great.
Yeah.
It's not, right? It's not healthy. It's not good for that person.
Yeah.
It's not that person, that person they want to be physically attractive. They want to be healthy, deep down, they want to be, so I don't know, some people hate themselves and stuff. So maybe, but really deep down, even if you're fucked up in the head, you still, if you had your shit right, you would want to be healthy.
Yeah.
You would want to be physically attractive. You would want to be capable of, enjoying yourself,
for
doing physical activity and stuff. So anyways, and then the last statement here, ethical statement, is Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had. as he has kept it in business all these years. So this kind of a funny statement. I guess maybe they're saying, you know, so much of the evil in the world is because of us, and we drive people to the church out of desperation for all the evil we bring about in the world. That's one way of interpreting it.
That's right. Yeah.
Another way might be just, you know, they might have infiltrated the church, as they likely have in many different places, and you know they're helping to fund the church is another possible interpretation of that statement.
Rivers could run deep in so many different ways, man. The ties run deep in so many different ways.
Yeah. So this document was put together by PhD and a few PhDs and a bunch of different police departments across the United States for the Department of Justice, so that police departments could identify satanic cult crimes. You know, children, you know, buried in the woods somewhere or whatever, and they might have a few marks on them. There might be some evidence of, you know, this having been committed by a satanic cult. So that was the purpose of this report put together, and it's really good. It goes in depth into how they indoctrinate people into these cults, and it also makes it clear that, you know, not everyone that's a Satanist is aware of what Satanism is all about and the depths of the things that they get up to in terms of satanic ritual abuse and all the rest of it.
It's like low-level Masons. It's like low-level Masons.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
They don't have the same knowledge as the 33rd Reich Mason, or, you know, or
exactly.
33rd degree. I said 33rd Reich like they're Nazis. I don't really sure if that's what it is.
I don't know. So, you know, hopefully I would love to talk again another time, because I would like to go through, you know, talking about Nazis.
Oh, yeah, dude.
The Nazis, they were deeply involved in pagan... the links connecting the Nazis and the Satanists are numerous. So
I would definitely
you're somewhat accurate in stating that, you know.
Yeah, man. Oh man, that was intense. Fuck. All right, man. Okay, bro. Well, I gotta end this up now. I gotta fucking go get down to business and sleep. I need to go to sleep.
Yeah, sounds good. That was a good talk. You gave me a few. I got a few tabs open here with stuff I gotta look up now. So
awesome, dude. Yeah. Dude. I want to get together again and have another chat with you, because this was a good fucking conversation. And I'm sure the people that I'm gonna put this out to are gonna like this conversation, because we hit some pretty good points, and it's cool to have another person that is not in America. They can give me ideas about what's going on in other places like Canada, because that's our big brother to the fucking north, right? You know, so pretty soon we're all gonna be fucking banding together, buddy. We're gonna be all gonna be against one motherfucker, man.
At the end of the day, we're all in this together against these forces.
That's right, man.
At work, so
fucking A. All right, bud. Well, you know what? Thank you for coming on, Matt. I appreciate that. And
yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. So
for sure, buddy. I will be in contact with you. Okay.
Sounds good. Good night.
All right. Good night, brother.